right, Eddie, tell us about your favorite focus week in Coro.
My favorite focus week was definitely Innovation Week, when we went down to Silicon Valley and interviewed CEOs and executives and all sorts of really important people down there innovating. We went to the NASA Ames base and stayed there overnight. We met with one of the guys who designed the Star Wars program under Reagan. We met with all sorts of folks at Google, one of the main designers, one of the project designers at Google that did Gmail and all sorts of other fascinating things, and we got to pick their brains all week long, kind of nonstop, and then we'd get back to the hotel late at night and talk all about it and talk about what we had experienced. You find out other people experience very different things, even though they're in the same room interviewing the same person with you. They have very different experiences, and that's always really interesting, sometimes confounding, but it was a great experience. And so that week really stretched our minds, I think, really forced us to look at the world in a little different way. We were exposed to things we didn't really know were even out there, and it just added a lot of value, I would say, overall.
Wow. Well, tell us, what was your first job out of Coro?
Well, funny enough, I got a job directly through my final placement. I had a placement at a place called the Fritz Institute, which helps nonprofits prepare themselves for major disasters. And here in San Francisco, that tends to be earthquakes, or at least that's the first thing that comes to mind. So I worked at Fritz. I basically did a big project on what they were doing well and what they could improve on. And at the end of my 4 weeks, they knew that I was coming to the end of Coro, and they said, well, smart guy, why don't you come back and try to, do some of these things you're talking about and improve some of these things you said could be improved. And so I did that, and I was basically a contractor. I was there for several months, and that actually directly led to a full-time permanent job. Funny me, now I'm into emergency management, and would have never thought. So that's how I got my first job at Coro, and it was really directly from my final placement.